Everybody, Leslie just got to rearrange her cell phone and we'll be all set.
Welcome, everyone, to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and Corey.
Hello, everybody.
Unlocking Your Truth is a talk show about metaphysics and spirituality, and we broadcast on 101.7 FM across the Fraser Valley from the unceded territory of the Stolo Nation, and we also live stream from our Awaken Your Psychic Abilities Facebook group and from YouTube, from my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Leslie Phillips. And you can also, as well as listening to us on CIVL, you can catch all the past podcasts on drlesliephillips.com and on all the major podcasting platforms. But we do the show and by live streaming it on Facebook and YouTube. So if you follow us in either of those ways, you get to taste the content of the show quite a few weeks in advance of when it airs live.
So I noticed you've got a chair there. Is that for one of your spirit guides, or?
Well, that's the chair I normally sit in, Corey, and I'm sitting on one of those yoga balls instead today.
Ah.
Yes.
Are you sure it's Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure it's Tuesday.
Because we haven't got a whole bunch of people on yet.
No, I know. Well, it's a lovely day, isn't it? And you know what we're talking about today? The power of now, the power of being in the present moment, and how when you shift your consciousness to focus in the present moment, how that impacts your psychic abilities. And so maybe people are either being in their moments, I don't know. But anyway, that's what we're going to talk about, is being present.
George says I got a weird shadow on my face.
Oh, that's interesting. So being in the moment, your physical body is in the moment. It cannot be anywhere else. Your physical system is always now, right here, right now. Try moving your body into the past. You can't do it, can you?
Nope. I've tried many times. Doesn't work.
Try moving your body into the future. You can't do that either, can you? Try moving your body instantaneously to Hawaii.
That would be handy.
It'd be fun, wouldn't it? But
yeah.
you'll discover that where your body is always here and now. And actually, if you did move it to Hawaii, it would still be here and now. So
that would remove all those pesky COVID traveling requirements.
Yeah. Yeah. So you in your body, you are always right here, right now. You as spirit, consciousness, can be anytime, any place, anywhere. So what we mean when we're talking about now and being in the present moment, we're actually talking about bringing body and spirit together. If your body is always here and now, but you can be anytime, any place, anywhere, if you bring yourself into the here and now, then you connect yourself into your body. And you become very present and awake and aware from within that point of focus called your body. And that has tremendous implications for many things. So, because now you can start to relate to your body, you can start to relate to your physical life, you can start to relate to your life creations. If you join your body right here, right now. And everyone just think about it for a moment. It might seem like a strange thing that I'm talking about, but are you always right here, right now?
No.
Or are you sometimes focused on things that's already happened? Maybe you had an argument with your partner this morning and you can't stop thinking about it. Maybe you made a fool of yourself at work and you're obsessed by that moment. So oftentimes we are projecting our consciousness into the past, which is not where the body is. Or we're focusing on our to-do list or some event in the future that we are going to participate in. And when we're doing those things, we are not here and now, and we are not where the body is. And yet, your body is the point of power. It is your point of focus as a spiritual being in the realm of physical reality. And so if you are not focused in the here and now with your body, it's actually much more difficult for you to manifest, for you to create, for you to achieve the things that you truly authentically wish to achieve in a focused way. So it's one of the keys to be able to create the reality that you want is to be right here, right now. But it also focuses your awareness very, very acutely to be in the present moment. So just think of the difference between what we were just talking about, how sometimes we have our energy so very, very scattered. You know, we're not in the body. We're partly in the past, partly in the future, partly in somebody else's brain trying to figure out what they're thinking. You know, our energies can be very, 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 very scattered.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time somewhere else. Actually, I think.
And when you
somewhere else or sometime else, yeah.
Right. Yes, and I was going to make a point about that.
Oh, I just did. Saved you all the effort.
That wasn't the point that I was going to make. So I was talking about your body being your point of power and your point of focus to live your life through, and how being connected with your body in the here and now helps you to manifest. But I was also going to go on to talk about tonight's show, which is how does that then help you with your intuition? Well, if you are here and in touch with your body right here, right now, then you can become very clear about your choices, about your decisions, about your energy, about the situation that you're in, about everything that's going on around you. If you are not present in your body, then you won't have that focus, that acute awareness. And I'm not just talking in terms of the physical senses, but I'm talking in terms of your spiritual senses. So if you are here and now and grounded and present and centered within your body, then, you know, you start to step towards a level of mastery over the physical realm and a level of much greater awareness about your energy state and what's going on in your body. You are not your thoughts, you are not your beliefs, you are not your emotions, but your body is doing that stuff. It's having thoughts and emotions and so on. And so if you're not present in the now moment, you're just letting that carry on. But if you can join the body and be present within the body, now you have an awareness of where the body's at, and you can start to rein it in, and you can start to take control of this situation. And you do that through your psychic senses, you do that through your intuition. So your intuition is going to be much more acutely focused on who you are and what you're doing and what's going on in your life if you are present and if you are grounded, rather than if your energy is scattered and unfocused. So hopefully that makes sense. So being right here, right now is a very powerful place to be, and it's the only place your body is. And in my opinion, if you are not here and now, then you're wasting an opportunity. What did you create your body for? You created your body actually as a vehicle for you to create and manifest through in the physical realm. And you created your body as a focal point so that you could focus your light here in the physical realm and bring the light of consciousness and divine source energy all the way here in the outer reaches of reality. So if you are not here and now, then you are not doing that. So let's take a moment to be really present, to be right here and right now. So I'm going to invite you all to just take some deep breaths in and out. And in and out. Now, focusing on your breathing brings you into the present moment, because it is your body that is breathing and it is your body that is in the present moment. And I also invite you to be aware of the energy center near the base of your spine and to create a flow of energy from there to the center of the earth. This is called a grounding cord, and it helps focus your energy in the present moment because it helps you, the spiritual consciousness, to come in and be present within the physical system. It helps make it safe for the body to channel your very high vibration energy. And so as you ground in this way, by creating the energy cord or the energy flow from your first chakra near the base of your spine to the center of the earth, you'll probably notice a distinct difference between when you are doing that versus when you are not doing that. And the difference that you are feeling is that you are coming more into the present moment. You're concentrating and focusing your energy in the here and now and making that connection with your body and your physical system. So I bet when you ground like that, all of a sudden you start to become more aware of what's going on with you, what's going on with your body, what's going on with your reality. So as you do that, breathing deeply and grounding, take a moment to just notice. What are you aware of? And maybe you notice your mind. It could be in stillness, but it could be busy thinking. Maybe you notice your emotions. So being aware, excuse me, of what is going on in your reality by being present. Now, if you also focus your conscious awareness in the center of your head, you now can start to use your clairvoyance to have clarity about what is going on with you in this moment. So from that perspective, you can notice your monkey mind and your thoughts, but realize yourself as separate from that you are not that. And by being in the center of your head, you may notice your emotions, the emotional content of your life, and yet be above it and realize you are not that. We're going to take a break for some messages, and I invite you to remain in this very present state of awareness during that time and when we return and for the rest of the show. Welcome back, listeners. You're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and Corey. We're talking about being in the present moment and how might that accentuate your intuition. And we're talking about how it makes you much more acutely aware of yourself and your reality and your creations, and how it also empowers you to create those things in the form that you prefer them to be. I'm wondering if there's some questions or things that people would like to share about how they felt tuning in to their breath and grounding.
I have a question from Omida. Excuse me. Does the body not like it when your spirit or mind is somewhere else, or does the body not mind? I find it hard to honor my body, to listen and to honor my body, often wanting to push it to reach whatever daily goals I have or things I want to do. I guess to add context to my question, I'm aware that my body is often tired and wants to sleep, rest, etc., but I don't honor that and use caffeine or stimulants, etc., to push through and do the things I set out to do. I'm wondering if this is creating an adverse relationship between my body and I.
Okay, thank you for that question. There's kind of two parts to that question. Does the body like it when you are here, or does it prefer it when you're away? And that, in some senses, that depends on the body, and it depends on the particular individual, and it depends on the life story of that particular individual. Ultimately, the body likes it when you're present. But it may take you some time to reach that stage, and I'll explain what I mean. So your body was created as the vessel for your energy. So your energy and that body are meant to coexist in partnership together. Now, most of us have had challenging experiences in our life. So let's say you're somebody who had a traumatic experience when you were younger. And as many people do, when they are facing a traumatic experience, you left the body. You left the body on its own to cope with that experience, because during that experience, the body wasn't a very pleasant place to be. So then that body may not trust you. That body may have learned to cope on its own. You know, that body may have developed some traits or aspects of the ego that make it want to stay in charge and in control. And that body may fight you. That body may reject you. And that body may not trust you. So it may seem like the body doesn't like it when you are present, but it is because you have created interference between you and your body. And when you clear out the interference between you and your body, then you can peacefully coexist after that healing has taken place. The other thing that can occur as one starts to become more present in the body is that the body will say, oh, you've been ignoring me all these years, but finally you're paying me some attention. Well, here, let me tell you some things. And then the body may start speaking to you. It may speak to you through physical ailments, pains, emotions, and so forth. And so then again comes this process of taming the wild stallion, comes this process of building a relationship that you neglected with that body. So again, you can walk hand in hand together in peace and harmony. Now, you said that you push and force your body in order to get done what you need to get done. And when it's tired, you give it stimulants. And so one might say that you are abusing your body. One might say that you are not taking your body and that partnership into consideration. And it's quite a common story that spirit will either neglect the body completely, let it get on with it itself, or force it to be more, to try to make it be more like spirit. Because spirit is instant, right? When you create something as spirit, it's instant. Well, the body takes time and space. And so part of nurturing that relationship is understanding the difference between the body and spirit, and that the body needs time. It needs time to process, to integrate, and to be in balance. And so I think the last part of that question was, I think you said something like, am I neglecting my body? Or I can't remember now what it was, but yeah, it sounds like you are not respecting the body and not respecting the body's reality in that way of treating the body. Now, sometimes we can't always give the body what it needs in the moment that it needs it, but you can at least acknowledge the body and what it's needing from you, and as soon as you're able to give the body what it needs, like enough sleep and enough rest, and so on.
Thank you. Having a little bit of an interesting, Nate's trying to ask the question, but it doesn't send the first part of the question across. I wonder if they've started, if YouTube is being censored. But tell you what, Nate, why don't you do this? Send it to my email. I'll pick it. Whoops, take the K out of there. There's no K in there. And you can send it there, and I'll pick it up from there. Oh, it's very interesting, Dr. Leslie. You have an interesting take, of course you do, an interesting take on that. So let's get to the next question for you.
Thank you.
Does the body try to bring you back to the present? Is that the basis of some illnesses, discomfort, etc.? That's from Brian. That's from Brian.
So the body, if it is having an illness, that is the body communicating about an imbalance, about an energy that is out of alignment with your higher being. So remember, we said your body is your vessel and it is meant to contain your energy and express your unique creativity in the physical world. And so if everything that you're doing and the way that you're being is in alignment with that, then you have a healthy body. But yeah, I mean, illness would be a communication from the body saying, pay attention. And usually it will communicate through emotions first. But if you go, oh, shut up, body, here, drink some coffee, I'm not listening to you, I've got something more important I need to do, then eventually, if you don't listen to the emotions, then it may shout louder through a physical illness. So yes, it is, I guess we could say it's trying to get your attention. It's showing you what is out of alignment in your system. And then you have a choice to come and pay attention to that and correct that imbalance or not.
Okay. Next question for Dr. Leslie. Are you ready?
I am.
You sure?
Yep.
This is from Katie. Katie says, I have noticed that in the last few weeks, my neck has been cramping up, feeling sore like it used to, especially in the morning. I have been meditating regularly, especially with taking your course, grounding through the day, feeling present. And I've also tried massaging the area, taking natural supplements, topicals, etc. A shaman once told me my chronic neck pain is a combination of a burden I've taken from a past life as well as a tragedy I experienced years ago. It has been a while since it's flared up like this. Could this be the adjustment my body is experiencing with developing my intuition?
Well, it's what we were just talking about. You're paying more attention to your body because of what you're learning in the Unlock Your Intuition course. And then your body is saying, oh, she's paying attention to me. Well, here's something that I'd like you to know about. And so it's your body communicating with you. And sometimes these things there can be layers there, like there can be layered on top of each other some past life experiences and experiences from the current life, like you're talking about. But Katie, now you see you have techniques that help you now take charge of that and do something about it. So you can be clearing the pain and the stiffness and the discomfort from your neck using the techniques the energy techniques that you are learning in the course. Now, Corey, can you read the question out again where I'm just trying to remember how she fitted intuition into the question.
Okay, she says, you only want that part of the whole thing?
Read the whole thing. It was a short one.
I've noticed that in the last few weeks, my neck is cramping up, feeling sore like it used to, especially in the morning. I have been meditating regularly, especially with taking your course, grounding through the day, feeling present. And I've also tried massaging the area, taking natural supplements, topicals, etc. A shaman once told me my chronic neck pain is a combination of a burden I've taken from a past life, as well as a tragedy I experienced years ago. It has been a while since it's flared up like this. Could this be the adjustment my body's experiences with developing my intuition?
I suppose the short answer to that is yes, because you're developing your intuition and you're using your intuition to pay attention to your own energy system. And your body is part of that energy system, and it's letting you know something that's out of alignment. And like I said, so now you know some ways in which you can move it back into alignment. Thank you.
Oh, I've lost something again here. This is from Brian. Brian says, that explanation makes sense. I've been far more present lately, and I've had discomforts arising everywhere. Maybe my body is now talking more to me. I've tried many things to alleviate this, but with limited success. I wonder if you could take a look at this from providing some insight.
I could take a look, Brian, but I would say, and I don't know if you bought a copy of my book, but the answer that I just said to Katie is really useful to you, which is to use energy techniques to respond to the body and to help with what it's talking to you about. Okay, so Brian says that things are coming up in his body. And did he say he's been meditating as a way to attempt to relieve it, Corey?
He's tried things to alleviate it. That's it. Just tried to alleviate it. Doesn't mention any series of events that he's tried.
Well, you don't look that grounded to me. So one thing that you can do is ground yourself from your first chakra to the center of the earth. And then whatever these things are that are coming up, send them down your grounding cord. Send them down your grounding cord. And you're sending them to the center of the earth for that energy to be reformulated and recycled. But yeah, and that is a dialogue with your body. Your body is saying this hurts and that hurts. And you're saying, here, let me help you with that. Let me remove that particular thing that's causing it. Now, you can go more deeply into it, Brian, but on a simple level, that's all you need to do is listen to your body and respond to it. So I don't know if you've been grounding. It doesn't look like you were grounding to me, or at least not now.
Yeah, that could be a problem, an issue with things like that. Being in the now is I mean, it's so powerful. I mean, of course, Eckhart Tolle's book. When I read that, but I think I read it, probably The Power of Now, probably 10 times the year I got it. It was an amazing book, and it makes so much sense. But I find it very easy just to slip out of that and forget and not take notice. Yeah, you ever feel that way too, Dr. Leslie, or is it something that is just?
I think everyone that's in a human body, even those of us that have spiritual practices that we've been doing a long time, can have moments where we lose our grounding. We're only human. But at least if we have this information, we can notice that we're doing that and pull our energy back in.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Leslie, the power of now is probably taking a few moments for a break.
Sounds
and
good.
Messages.
That's great. Listeners, Unlocking Your Truth will be back in a few moments. Welcome back, listeners, to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and Corey. Today's episode is about the power of being in the present moment and how does that impact your intuition. And it actually enhances your intuition because it brings you into a sharp focus and focal point of where your body is. So and you will notice, we did a grounding practice earlier in the show, and you will notice if you're ungrounded, then you're more spacey, your energy is more spread out, your attention's more spread out, and much less focused and much less clear. But if you are grounded, which brings you into the present moment, then you become much, much, much more focused and clearer. And so what is your intuition? These are your spiritual senses that bring you clarity.
Okay. So here's an interesting thing that we've never had occur before. And Nate was trying to send in a message, and I only got half of the message, and he sent it in 3 times. It was very interesting. So you'll have to really take a good look at this one, Dr. Leslie.
Okay.
So she says, for years, I felt numb to emotions and to the present moment. It feels like I'm not fully absorbing life as it is, if I'm just as if I'm watching through a screen and not actually living. Have you heard of this before, and how would you go about healing this?
Okay. Well, I've met people before where that describes them. It reminds me of, and I don't think this is you at all, but it reminds me of somebody I met once who was really into the Buddhist practice of, I don't think it's called disassociation, but basically what they're doing is disassociating themselves. And that's exactly what was happening to him. But let me look at you and see what comes up. So it looks to me like you're not really in your body. And then I'm asking the question, then what energy is in your body? I'm just going to give you a little healing. Give me a moment. Well, you tell me whether this resonates, but it looks to me like you learned at a young age that your body is not your own. You know, that other people tell you what to do or decide what you should do and how you should be. And so I'm just seeing that it's full of programming of other people, what other people told you to do and how to be. And so it looks like you never really learned that your body was your own, more that it was something that was there to please other people, and so you had to fill it up with, their energy and what they wanted. And so I'm seeing for you, the grounding technique and centering technique that we did earlier would help you a lot, because it will help you to start coming into that body and say, this is mine. And like we were just saying to Brian, to send all that programming from other people and that foreign energy down your grounding cord so that you can fill your space with you. So I'm just seeing that right now your body isn't really animated by you and your energy. It's animated by something else. And it looks to me like mostly programming from other people telling you who you should be or what you should do. And so it is like this body is going through the motions. I am an automaton and I'm just, doing what I was programmed to do. And then you're in the background going, oh, isn't that interesting? Look at that body. I don't feel really in touch with it. So yeah. And of course, everybody, my course, Unlock Your Intuition, is something to really consider. It would be very helpful for all these types of issues that are coming up in the show today. All the book Intuition and Chakras, the last section, teaches you energy techniques to help you come more fully into your body and take charge of your energy. Next question.
This is from George. George says, I have experienced an interesting feeling when I tried grounding stuff a few weeks ago. Something works. I just went with the feeling but didn't analyze it to understand what's going on.
Good. Because that's what you do a lot, George. You analyze things. And of course, remember that when we're analyzing things, that's our brain. And that's a part of our body. And you are not your body, you are spirit. So exactly, grounding brings you into the experience of yourself as spirit, and you are not your thoughts. So that's great.
Yeah, yeah. George does have a tendency to get there. But it's good that you're trying the grounding. It does work. It does work. This is from Kelly. Kelly says, it feels very good to ground and be centered. I try to do it daily. As well, I feel deep gratitude in various moments throughout my day, which also helps bring me and keep me in the present state. Lately, my vision for the future has felt chaotic and unfocused, like I'm pulling myself in many directions and not really giving my body time to process and integrate what I'm creating in spirit. So not giving time for things to unfold. And as a result, I feel more ungrounded and unfocused and unsure. So I find the balance of envisioning the future and manifesting it will also stay present, hard to navigate. Hope and stay in the present, hard to navigate. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, and I guess let's answer that in two different ways. One thing that I think you're experiencing, Kelly, is the energy on this earth right now is so fast moving. It's faster moving than it's ever been before. And it's gone beyond the point that the body can actually comprehend it, right? And so really an attitude of surrender and going with the flow is, in a way, a good practice, because by the time the body's grasped it, the energy's shifted. So part A of my answer is, I think that you're just experiencing symptoms of the planetary shift and the shift within our consciousness, moving more into a faster pace and a more multidimensional thing. So one of the things that I've been doing and I find helpful, because I think under those circumstances, sometimes grounding can be challenging, because I see people flailing around a lot. I don't even know what to ground to because the earth is changing so fast. It's like trying to ground to quicksand. So put yourself inside a golden sphere of light and have that kind of be a kind of personal grounding in your own personal private universe. and then have a level of surrender about going with the flow. So that's one thing. But then let me look at the thing about you manifesting and grounding and envisioning the future. Let me look at that. So you're talking really about steering the ship, steering your own ship, really, aren't you? Navigating through the quantum field consciously. Let's take a look at your question here. Give me a moment. Well, this is an observation that doesn't really answer your question, but one of the things that I'm seeing that you're doing is it's almost like trying to step into the future before the body's ready. In that, I'm seeing you, visualizing, but I'm also seeing that within your vibration, within your system, are certain things that are not matching what it is that you're trying to create. And so a bit more attention on healing the body. And as you're visualizing the things that you want to create, just asking the question, is my vibration a match to that? And then looking to see, oh, wow, here's that thing in my third chakra, my second chakra, that's not a vibration. Let me do some healing work. So it does look like you're trying to forge ahead into the future and not completely taking the body into account. And maybe that does answer your question. And it should absolutely be possible for you to be in the present moment and be grounded and visualize a future potential without moving into the future. But what it just looks like to me is that you're trying to step into the future before you've prepared the vibrational match within your body. And then it's not going to work. So you have to do the healing and the clearing within the physical system. I hope that answers your question. Thanks for asking.
Hey, this is from Brian. Brian says, thanks for looking at it. Actually, I've been grounding, not only spiritually, but physically as well. I have been sending a lot into the earth, but actually forgot to try and send the discomfort and pain down that cord. I've basically sent everything else that I could cause it.
No, right.
I thought could cause it. So I'll try to send the discomforts themselves.
Yes, yeah.
That's the tool. That's what it's good for.
Great.
This is from Omida. I've always had a really strong startled reflex, meaning I jump up in shock when somebody approaches me and I don't know they're there. Me too. One way I've understood that is that I intend to operate out of my body, mind in the clouds, etc. Can you take a look to see if this is due to just operating out of my body, or if there's something earlier trauma that I'm not aware of that's led me to operate out of my body much of the time?
Well, I do see you, the idea of being sort of slightly outside, more in the mental realm, in the realm of thoughts and ideas, so that when somebody comes along and it's a more physical stimulus, that it jolts you into a more physical awareness. Is it due to trauma or just not being present in the body? It's definitely not being fully present in the body is correct. Is it also due to trauma? Well, there is something coming up for you to look at, which is it's showing up at the first chakra, or actually just underneath the first chakra, and it is interfering with your connection with physical reality. It kind of looks like a hockey puck, like a little energy configuration like that underneath the first chakra. It looks like there's one picture, and this you might want to meditate on this yourself, but one of the pictures is being shouted at as a child. And you know how we tend to just get like, I don't want to be here to be shouted at. And then, hey, pay attention to me when I'm speaking to you. So I'm seeing some pictures of it like that. So yeah, you might want to meditate and look at that hockey puck of energy underneath your first chakra and see what else you can pull out of there. All right.
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot of nice comments. Like Kelly says, it does answer it. Thank you. And Brian has a cute one. He says, LOL, yes, that's my problem. If only it came with an instruction manual, or if there was a cheat sheet for it, like a code we could break. Yeah, I often wish we had an instruction manual. And Omaida says, thank you for that, super helpful. And that's it on this side. And we have some, that completely, Nate says that completely resonates and is super helpful.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's almost the show for the week. We got a couple of more minutes if anybody has another question. quick question. We can answer that. Oh, Katie has one here. Thank you for your response. Is it possible I may be misusing energy techniques? In other words, can I be, whoops, can I be well, unless you've answered that one already.
I don't remember you reading that.
Okay, thank you for your response. Is it possible I may be misusing energy techniques? In other words, can I be misaligned energy or chakras or being counterproductive? In other words, I know my body is talking to me, but I don't know what it's telling me. I think I read that one to you.
No, I don't remember. Okay, so well, that's part of developing your intuition, and part of what taking the course is going to teach you is how to, you know, listen to your body and your body's emotions. So, so she said, is it possible I'm misusing energy techniques, or I'm out of alignment in my chakras because I know my body's talking to me, but I don't know what it's saying? Is that the general
Yeah, exactly. And that was the response Brian had. This for you. I wish he had a code breaker for that.
I'm just looking at your energy, Katie. Well, I'm just looking at your second chakra, which is your emotional center. And it kind of does look a little bit confused to me. Like there is almost like a battle going on in there. And I'm wondering whether part of the confusion is that it might not only be your own emotions that you're dealing with. So maybe you're taking on some energy from other people, and that is then very confusing because is this even my emotion? It doesn't seem to fit. So the more you own your space, the more you clear your energy system, then the easier it should become for you to be able to listen to your body. I mean, there's this whole sort of it's like an energy basket out in front of your second chakra that just feels confusing.
Yep. Well, that looks like it's.
That looks time.
Sorry?
That's good. So you might want to meditate on it, Katie, I guess. Send it down your grounding.
And that's it for tonight.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Amida.
See you next time.
Yep. Enjoy.
And before I sign off from Facebook, we're not going to do a show next week. So we're having a break for a week, but we'll be back the week after that. We might do it at a slightly different time though. So look out for if you're on my email list, look out for your emails to find out in 2 weeks' time exactly when we're going to do the pre-recorded show. And we'll post it on the Facebook group as well.
Yes, we will. Enjoy, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.
Stay out of the heat.